Hey, what's going on, guys? This is GameNote321, and welcome to my Five Nights at Freddy's 3 trailer breakdown part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, I will leave a link in the description below. But this video is going to go over the Steam Greenlight pictures that are on the Steam Greenlight website. Scott Cawthon posted the trailer as well as some other pictures and the description of the game on this website, and I will leave a link to that website in the description below so you guys can check that out whenever you feel like it. But there is one thing I want to announce before I continue with this video. It's just a minute of your time. Now, you guys know a YouTuber and his name is Smike. I'm pretty sure if you like Five Nights at Freddy's videos, you would know who Smike is. Now, a little while ago, I got a comment from a subscriber saying, "GameNut, your commentating skills suck. Smike does better at them." And I'm like, what makes Smike so much better than me at commentating? So I looked up his channel. I didn't know the guy, and I was like, okay, he does Five Nights at Freddy's videos, Skyrim videos, and he has like 200,000 subscribers. I'm like, all right, cool. Then I never heard of this guy, but that's awesome. So I looked at this video to see what my subscriber meant by saying he does better commentaries than me. And I looked at his videos and I'm like, okay, well, I don't really see much of a difference. The only thing he really does is that he talks more like a robot, more professional like, and he kind of takes out his ums. Like if I was like, okay guys, I'm going to do this thing, and like he cuts those parts out so he sounds more professional, and he does like the top 10 this and top 10 that, and plus the way he just commentates. So what if I, just to joke around and stuff like that, was to commentate like him just to see how, you know, you guys would react, and just to see. I'm not doing this to hate on the guy. I have nothing against Smike. The only bad thing I have against Smike, or something I don't agree with, is that he's kind of milking the Five Nights at Freddy's series too hard. Like, he's doing Five Nights at Freddy's 2 videos when the game has already been out and played. Like, he's doing 2-minute videos about, you know, animatronics and he's doing fact videos about everything that people already know. He kind of repeats them, and that's the only bad thing I have about him. And his videos are kind of overhyped. I mean, he does 5-minute commentaries about, I don't know, Freddy, and he gets like 1 million views off of it, and I saw him get like 200,000 subscribers within 1 month, and I honestly think I make better videos than him, and I put more effort into my videos than he does. As you can see, if you look at my other videos, if you're an old subscriber of mine, then you'll know that my editing skills are pretty decent. But for him just to commentate 5 minutes about one animatronic, about one game, and he gets like 1 million views and like 100,000 subscribers every month, it kind of discourages me a little bit. And I'm sorry, I'm just going on about this like I'm supposed to be talking about Five Nights at Freddy's 3. I'm really sorry if I offended you, Smike. If you're watching this, I'm sorry, or any fans of him, but I'm gonna do this video like him. I'm gonna commentate like him. I'm gonna take out my ums, talk more like a robot, be more professional, do like a top 10 type of thing. So just to joke around a little bit, I don't plan on commentating like this in a future video, but hey, who knows, this might be something funny that you guys will like. I don't know, it's just as mess around, so here we go. Hey, what is up guys, it is GameNut here, and today I'm going to be showing you my top 10 facts about the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 trailer. This idea was suggested by a bunch of people that I don't even know, so thanks guys. So up at number 10 is that the toy animatronics from Five Nights at Freddy's 2 are located in the box on the left side of the room. In fact, this was the same box we saw on Scott Games' website. If you haven't noticed, the box is very dirty, which could possibly mean the toy animatronics are no longer needed. Also, if you haven't noticed, their heads are the only pieces that are in there, which could mean one thing: their spare parts are being used somewhere else. You know what, screw it. I'm not even going to talk like his voice. I'm just going to do me. It's just easier that way. Alright guys, real talk. The actual image that I had to show you in the very beginning about the toy animatronics in the box is actually something I really needed to show you, because in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, most likely it is a sequel. It is not a prequel like Five Nights at Freddy's 2 was. It is an actual sequel. Here's why. Here's a description of the actual game written by Scott himself, and I'm going to read it to you guys. 30 years after Freddy Fazbear's Pizza closed its doors, the events that took place there have become nothing more than a rumor and a childhood memory. But the owners of Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction, are determined to revive the legend to make the experience as authentic as possible for patrons, going to great lengths to find anything that might have survived decades of neglect and ruin. At first, there were only empty shells, a hand, a hook, an old paper plate doll. But then a remarkable discovery was made. The attraction now has one animatronic. And that's all. Okay, so there's a lot of things to think about this actual description. So I'm going to try to break it down the best I can. Just remember that everything that I'm saying in this video may or may not be 100% true. It might be like 80% true, it might be 20% false and somehow, but we don't really know because the game has not even released yet. Only the trailer has been revealed and some information on this Steam Greenlight website. So I'm going to go ahead and do my best. I'm going to go over some images and a bunch of other stuff, and then to conclude everything, I'm going to be going over all of my theories, what I think, what about the animatronics, everything else, how the game plays out, and I actually figured out how the game will play out. But just stay tuned and you'll figure it out, and then you'll just have a blast, I guess. Let's have a blast. Now, I'm going to conclude this description as best I can, so if I stutter or if I get lost or anything like that, just please bear with me. I have a lot in my head that I need to get out into the microphone and tell you guys. Okay, so my conclusion to this description, pretty much they are deciding to turn Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which is pretty much a legendary pizza place, into a haunted house attraction. So in the description, it says 30 years after Freddy Fazbear's Pizza closed its doors. And Freddy Fazbear's Pizza first closed its doors in 1987, I believe, when the bite of 87 happened and all like the murderous or the suspicious activity happened. They decided to close it down. But then later on, I would say about 1993, where Five Nights at Freddy's 1 took place, they decided to bring it back. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, they wanted to bring it back. But see, the thing is, they didn't have that much money to budget it, so the reason why you have power and your power is so low and stuff like that is because it was low budget. And there was less animatronics in there because they couldn't afford all the old animatronics from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. They decided to only bring back the main three, which was Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica, and they kept Foxy in the curtains out of order in case, they wanted him to come back, and that's why he was malfunctioning and stuff like that in that out of order curtain. So in 1993, they gave Freddy Fazbear's Pizza a second chance. Now, both in Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, they closed it down. So when it says 30 years after Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was closed down, it's either 30 years after 1987 in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, or it's 30 years later after 1993, I'm assuming, is when Five Nights at Freddy's 1 ended. So it's either going to take place in 2017, or it's going to take place in 2023. Now, that actually seems too far into the future for the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 trailer to be looking all beat up like this, but like I said, this haunted Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction. Now, it could take place in 2023, which is still pretty futuristic and stuff, and since it's a haunted horror attraction, it's going to look old and it's going to look creepy and stuff like that. So it's either going to take place in 2017 or 2023. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, but that's what I can conclude. But also in this description, they do say how they were determined to revive the legend and make the experience as authentic as possible. So what they did was they went back to Five Nights at Freddy's or Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and they were looking around to see if they could revive anything. All they really found were empty shells. They found a hand, they found a hook, an old paper plate doll, and there was a remarkable discovery, and the attraction now has one animatronic. So what this description does say, it says that they went into Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, either the one from 1987 or the one from 1993 in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, and they decided to turn it into a horror attraction. And that's why when I did my part 1 of the trailer breakdown and you look at the ground and the scenery, the area that you are in looks very similar to Five Nights at Freddy's 2. You know how the map is, you know how the area looks like. It's like a checkerboard type floor. There's long hallways and corridors and multiple rooms leading to other rooms. It looks like it's going to be a replica of Five Nights at Freddy's 2 map. As you can tell right here, we're looking at the maps right here. The room that you are in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, the size of it looks very similar to the size in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Now, if you look at the map on Five Nights at Freddy's 1, the room that you're in is really skinny. So it looks like when they went into Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, they went into the 1987 model, not the 1993 model. So it looks like it's going to take place in 2017. Now, to bring more evidence on this subject, look at this description right here. Right here it says, at first there were only empty shells, a hand, a hook, an old paper plate doll, but then a remarkable discovery was made. Now, look at these images right here. We'll look at this one first. Do you see this image right here? I forgot which room this is, but you see Chica right here, but don't look at Chica. You see the actual paper doll things behind it. You see Freddy, Bonnie, and it looks to be some sort of, it looks like just a boy. It doesn't even look like Chica. Like normally you would see like 3 of them, you know, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, but that doesn't look like Chica. And if you look at this image right here, the paper plate is missing. Now, if you look at the description of Five Nights at Freddy's 3 game, all they found was a paper plate doll. And doesn't this look like a paper plate doll? It looks like one, doesn't it? So that actually adds on to my reason that Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is going to take place and is a replica of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, where Five Nights at Freddy's 2 took place. They also said they found a hand. Look at this image right here. I found this on, I guess, the internet. You find everything on the internet, but yeah, they said they found a hand. And now if you look at this picture, it shows Freddy Fazbear on the left and Freddy Fazbear on the right, but you kind of see some handprints. Now, I don't know what happened to a hand. I don't know if it's actually a physical hand or if it's just an animatronic hand, because if you look at this image right here with the box with all the animatronics, you can see Bonnie's hand sticking out. So maybe they found Bonnie's hand and they calling that a hand, but it could have to do with Freddy Fazbear having this handprint on his head. I don't know, maybe he like ate a guy and like the guy he ate every part of his body except for his hand and they found a missing hand. I really don't know, but I highly doubt it would be a human hand, because if they came back to the 1987 Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and they found a hand, that hand would have been rotten and it would have turned to bone. So it would have been an animatronic hand. So maybe the hand they're talking about is probably Bonnie's hand. And the last image I want to show you is pretty much all the animatronic empty headpieces that were in the box. They said they found only empty shells and they were just empty. So pretty much the animatronics that were in those suits probably escaped. They maybe have put themselves together and turned themselves into a new Freddy Fazbear suit. And you know, Freddy Fazbear, or not Freddy Fazbear, Golden Freddy. When Golden Freddy comes to your room, he's slumped over and has nothing in his body. But since there's no exo or endoskeleton inside the empty shells of those animatronics, maybe the animatronics got out of their suits and they all put themselves together into the empty Golden Freddy suit, and that's why this Golden Freddy animatronic that you see in the trailer looks like Bonnie. Maybe like he has the legs of another animatronic, or maybe he has the hook from Foxy. I really don't know, but that could be a theory of mine. I'm not saying it's true, but it is possible. But actually, all these pictures you're looking at backs up my reason why I think Five Nights at Freddy's 3 will take place in 2017, and it's an exact replica, or it's a redesign from the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. I'm sorry if I'm getting really confused, guys, but I'm just putting out all the stuff that I processed in my head into the microphone. So if I'm confusing you, then I'm sorry. I can barely talk, like I'm not even making complete sentences right. All right, let's go on to the next thing. Alright guys, so this next part is going to be very interesting for you guys. Okay, so Five Nights at Freddy's 1 was all about surviving until 6 a.m. and you have to rely on a power source. And if you ran out of power, you died. In Five Nights at Freddy's 2, you had to rely on keeping a box winded and just flashing your lights and keeping the mask on just to make sure you survive those 6 hours. Now in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, people are wondering, okay, what do you do? Well, I looked at the pictures on Steam Greenlight. I looked at, you know, the description, and I just like looked at the pictures. I was thinking about it, and I think this is 100% true that this is how Five Nights at Freddy's 3 will be played. Here's why. Okay guys, so we're going to look at this image right here. Now, you've probably already seen this image, maybe if you looked on the Steam Greenlight, but if you look very closely at this image, you could obviously see the map and how the cameras are aligned in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, like which rooms are which. And it looks like this golden animatronic is going to have one entry point. If you look at this picture right here with this golden animatronic just in your face, you see the door right there on the left. You see like a mannequin of a Freddy Fazbear, like he's empty, no eyes, no nothing. And that could possibly be the mask you used in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. But maybe what this golden animatronic is using, remember how earlier I said maybe when they abandoned Five Nights at Freddy's or Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, all the animatronics from the new, the toy versions, they probably all got out, they found the Golden Freddy suit, and maybe they put themselves together to make themselves new, and they're using the scrap parts as decoys, and then they'll distract you, and then he'll get into your room. Or, here's another thing, in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, or actually Five Nights at Freddy's 1, there's a part on the, I forgot which night it was, you could probably quote it down in the comments, but the phone guy says something about how someone has been impersonating in a golden animatronic suit or a golden suit. So the person in the suit, in this golden animatronic suit, could possibly be an actual person, or maybe that person actually died and maybe his soul went into the golden animatronic suit and he's actually killing all these kids or something. I really don't know. We'll just find out when the full game comes out, but let me get to this part, how the game will be played out. Okay, so you see this image right here, and you see this is probably the golden animatronic down the hallway, all creepy, and this is the map. Now, if you look on the top right corner in this section right here, you kind of see some blue-ish type of boxes, and it's kind of hard to read, but I'll see if I can brighten the image up for you or change the settings or the contrast or something. But if you look closely, there's actually buttons and they're labeled. Let me go to this image right here instead. You might be able to see it better, but let me go ahead and explain what's going on in here. I'm sorry if I'm getting confused, like I said, but remember how I said in the description it turned into a haunted house attraction or something like that. Now, these extra animatronic heads that they're probably using are probably just pieces that they're using in the hallway to scare the people, since it's an attraction. So when customers do come in and they go into the haunted house attraction, Five Nights at Freddy's 3, I forgot what it was called. I can't remember. I'm so used to saying Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, but when customers come in, they go in and they probably walk through like a little maze and they get scared and stuff like that. And you see this Foxy looking type thing, and he has his eye open. Maybe when the person walks in this room, the light comes on and it scares them because it's a haunted house attraction based off of Five Nights at Freddy's. So they're using old pieces from old animatronics to scare you and stuff like that. And it's possible that when this golden animatronic comes for you, he's probably attracted by noise or something like that. So let's say you activate a noise and he goes somewhere else. He'll go that direction. And remember what I said about the top right corner, these blue boxes? I think those buttons right there actually activate the little traps to scare the customers or to scare the golden animatronic away from you. So you see these buttons, you see like a little arrow on the top one, you see another arrow on the bottom one, and if you look very closely in between it, it says click. I'll go back to the other image right here, you can probably see it better, but it says click right here. Now you could probably use that as a click button to shine the light down the hallway like you could in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, possibly. I'm not sure, but I don't think you have to like worry about running out of battery because I don't see any battery indicator except for the 3 little dots on the bottom left corner of your little camera. I'm not even sure if this is an iPad or if you're like using some type of helmet and you're looking like some type of Tron dude looking at the little shades for the HUD. I'm really not sure, like some Halo or something like that. But yeah, I think since this is a haunted house attraction and you are in the security room, you're going to have to activate these attractions to scare away Golden Freddy, or at least stall him to keep him away from your room. Now, here is why I think you actually control them. We're going to look at this image right here. Now you're going to see all of this. It's green, it's red, and like you see arrows. Now this is where I think you actually have 2 sections. You can actually look at your tablet with the camera. You can look at the cameras and stuff, or you can actually look at the other end, which is the actual system to the whole entire building. Now you can actually control the audio. Maybe they have a Foxy or let's say they have a Freddy Fazbear, like the original Freddy Fazbear. They have him hiding underneath the ground or something. If you put audio, maybe you can play his audio music, and maybe the golden animatronic will be distracted and be like, oh, is the security guard over there? He'll go over there and be distracted, and maybe you have to like use them wisely. So if you use them all too fast, maybe he gets into your room and he kills you, and you have to use them wisely. And maybe when you reboot all, you see that reboot all button down there? If you reboot all, maybe it shuts down everything to charge them up, and then you have like maybe a 30-second delay until you can use those sounds again to keep them away. And it's going to be really, really tricky because he might even use those old animatronic pieces as decoys, because if you look at this image right here with the golden animatronic looking at you, you do see a fake Freddy Fazbear thing behind you. So maybe he places those in random rooms and he disables your lights, so that way you can't even turn on the light to see if that's the actual golden animatronic or if that's a fake decoy, which is going to be really tricky and it's going to be very, very creepy. And it's like a constant game of trick or treat, you know? You have to use your traps to keep him distracted and survive. He has to use decoys so he can distract you so he can get in your room, and that's going to be really tricky. It's like a 1v1 type of survival like manhunt type of game, and it's going to be really exciting. Like, a lot of people wish there was more animatronics, but I think it's just going to be this one animatronic. I mean, who knows, maybe those empty animatronic suits will probably come to life and escape and maybe put themselves together, and it'll be like a super mangle where it's like one endoskeleton and like 5 different heads sticking off multiple parts of the body. I really don't know, but it's most likely, I think, it's just going to be a constant back and forth thing. You're going to have to use your iPad to activate traps, keep him distracted, and you got to survive for 5 nights at this weird haunted house replica of a place, which is called Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction. So yeah, that's what it's called. Just call it Fazbear's Fright. And it's kind of hard to say because it's a little bit of a tongue twister. But yeah, that's just a little theory of mine. But I think that's how the game will play out. You have to activate traps to the haunted house, make noises, do whatever you can to keep the golden animatronic distracted, or make him go to another room while you stay hidden inside of your security room and stuff like that. And it looks like behind Golden Freddy, or the golden animatronic, there is a door, and it doesn't look like you can close it down just like anything else. So you just got to play sounds and keep him distracted. But that's how I think, I'm pretty sure that's how the game is going to play out, because I don't see any other indications as to you running out of power or running out of a light or have to keep a box winded up. I just don't see much or anything like that. All I noticed is that on this picture with all these settings, you have camera system, ventilation, menu, system restart, reboot all, and exit. We'll find out when the game comes out, but like I said, this is the trailer breakdown part 2. I'm actually going over all the images in detail as best as I can, and maybe I'll do another video in the future just shortening this video, because this video is pretty long. I'm surprised if you guys actually are still watching. It's been about 20 minutes or so yeah, I really don't know what else to say in this video, but this is pretty much all I really have for part 2. I might even follow up with the part 3. If I did miss anything, please let me know in the comments or anything like that. You can contact me through Facebook or Twitter. I might not contact you right back, but eventually I will. And I don't think there's anything else I have to say. I already went over that Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is possibly, most likely, going to take place in 2017, and it's possibly going to, the gaming mechanics of the game is going to illustrate you having to activate traps to keep the golden animatronic away from you so you can live as long as possible. I don't know much about the backstory about this new haunted house version of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, but all I know is that the game is called Five Nights at Freddy's 3, and the actual place is called Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction. That's what the name of it's called. I gotta get used to saying that, but yeah, I really hope you guys like this video. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it. I know I'm gonna get a lot of approval for it. A lot of people are gonna say, hey, you tried, but this is the real thing. I'm sorry, guys, but the game's not even out yet. I'm pretty sure when the game comes out, half the stuff I just said in this video probably won't even be true. Just respect each other's comments. I know stating your opinion is going to cause arguments and stuff like that, but just please try to be nice to each other, okay? Like, there's just like a lot of hate going around in the comment section these days on YouTube. But yeah, I really hope you guys liked that video. Please give it a thumbs up, share the video, tell your friends, you know, all the information I just gave you, just tell it to a friend, have a conversation about it. I don't know, but when the game comes out, I'm going to be playing it. A lot of people are going to make videos about it, so you could be watching anybody else's other video, but you're here watching me, and that actually means a lot. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.